and Stuff. I'm Marcus Holmes, the love activist, and I hope that you've had an amazing weekend and have had an opportunity to celebrate those men and women, brave men and women, who gave their lives for this country, these United States. As we move toward the month of June and think about the relationship of fathers and sons, I thought it would be great to revisit, to pull from the vault, a show about fathers and sons. You will meet Andre and Justin Green, and you will meet Andre Clay. I'll call it the show of Andres. And if you see your father-son experience in this episode, or the absence of your father-son experience in this episode, I want you to click share and tag some other folks to watch it, because I believe it's important in this day and time that we take a very introspective look, a very deep look into the relationship of fathers and sons. I believe in part it is a key to improving the love and structure, moral structure of our world. Stay tuned tonight, and anything that resonates with you, as this show has really resonated with me, having lost my father in 2009, I want you to think about some son, some brother, someone who is without a father figure, someone who is without a son, someone who is missing that relationship, and find ways to help them move and navigate in this world in a better way. It's yet another opportunity for all of us to up our love game. Enjoy the show. Good evening and welcome to Love and Stuff. I am Marcus Holmes, your facilitator, and I am so pleased to have you join us here on Love and Stuff. Excuse me, I need Rashida the Glam Dr. Williams, apparently. And I'm going to begin to tag a few people to join us in Love and Stuff. I hope that you will tag a few people to join us as well here on Love and Stuff. I've already sent out some invites, but I'm going to invite a few more folks to join us here on Love and Stuff. I hope all of you will be available to join us on Love and Stuff. It is a wonderful community. We are still striving to get to our 1,000 views from last week's show. So I hope that you will go back and watch that show as well, and that you will invite someone else to enjoy that show as well. So I am just going to invite a few more folks to get our show started, and I appreciate all of the support, all of the inboxes, all of the ideas, but you have to keep them coming, especially the ideas to our inbox. Most of our show topics come directly from the inbox, and sometimes real life situations that we see in the news happen as well. So not that the ones in the inbox aren't real life situations, but situations that you're more familiar with happen. And we bring those to the forefront as well. So today's show will bring a hybrid of the two. And I'm hoping that you will join us and that you will share with some others to join the conversation. We're doing a series of shows as we lead up to Father's Day on the father and son, father and daughter, or father relationships. Because I believe that not as much voice and platform is given to the brothers as should be. And I think if we help brothers to up their love game, we stand a chance to make a great dent in this world's current situation. I think a lot of the ills that we are experiencing have to do with the absence of the power and affirmation of our brothers. And so I just wanted to do a series on shows. You know, we always talk about the love our mother. We love our mothers. And yes, we do. I love my mother. Even though she's on the other side, I still love her. But what about the fathers and the brothers and the sons? So I just want to make sure that we're able to do that. And I am going to be done inviting in about a few seconds. And I hope that as I am sending invites, that you are inviting others to join in the conversation. Forgive me, I think I hit to invite someone who has passed on the other side. So I apologize to that family if that invite comes through to anyone. There are some folks who I guess have not been, their pages. I don't know how that works, but I apologize for having invited someone who is on the other side. Okay, I'm done in 10 seconds inviting folks. And I hope as I am inviting folks that you are doing the same. Okay. Let's see. Corey Reed has joined us. James Woodward has joined us. Andre Green, thank you, sir. Sabrina Whaley, First Lady Marquita Tolbert. Rashida the Glam, Dr. Williams has joined. Thanks so much. Had a wonderful time at her birthday extravaganza. Tim Dennis has joined us. Jad Ahmad has joined us. Yes, Sabrina, love and stuff. Willie Rogers has joined us. Latice Douglas has joined us. Okay. So very shortly, Jeremy Haynes has joined us. Thanks so much for coming to Love and Stuff. In a few moments, I'm going to bring on a couple of our guests, but from the inbox, I want to talk a little bit from the inbox as well. One of the topics that came through from the inbox regarding a father and son. I love my son and I've been where he's at. I've been unemployed, underemployed. I've been in hot and heavy love, he says, multiple times. I've been in baby mama and baby daddy drama. When I married his mom, I learned that his little brother was not mine. To this day, we have never told our children that the youngest is not mine. I'm divorced and regretting how things turned out with his mom. Every misstep I made, he has the very near potential to make right now. And when I offer advice, he does the exact opposite. Choice of job, choice of friends, choice of girlfriend, financial choices. Some things he will have to learn on his own, but I don't want to lose my son to drugs, violence, or anything or anyone else. What should I do besides pray? So that's what our inbox person is saying. And I want to bring on a father and son, and later a father we're going to talk to get some insight on this topic and to share some from their personal story as well. Jarrell Shamar Bolger, my cousin, has joined us. Thank you, sir. Felix Holmes, my nephew, has joined us. Thank you so much. Antoine Peak has joined us. Christopher Davis. All right, I'm going to see if I can get on Andre Green, who I believe is Justin, I hope. And I want to be able to get them both on. See, make sure my camera's right. All right. They are connecting. All right.
Hey, bro.
And DeAndre Churchmore has joined. Okay. Hey, Andre, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Marcus?
I'm well, thank you. And is Justin with
you?
you?
He is not yet with me. He is on his way. I was just trying to get the ETA from him. You know, millennials
so
are not often punctual.
I see. All right. So, yeah, millennials, you all have to work on that. Be punctual. All right. We want you to be employed. So I want Justin to be in the conversation. So while we're waiting for him, from the inbox, I don't know if you heard the inbox topic.
Yeah.
It's a dad who has concern about some of the choices that his son is making, which are similar to choices that he made when he was younger. And so he's wondering, how do you give advice to your son when your son kind of does the opposite of the advice that you're giving him? And so before Justin gets here, I want to talk to you about, being a dad, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sons.
Four
right?
sons, yep, I do.
Two from your previous marriage and 2 blended from this current marriage to Judge Tracy Green.
Current and last marriage.
So, and last marriage. There you go. Yes. Before Jesus takes you both to heaven together. That's
Amen.
Right. And so, have you had experiences where you knew that your son was going to make a wrong choice and you tried to advise him, but he didn't take the instruction? So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a tough situation. So like you said, I have 4 sons, and I've had 4 sets of those experiences, and it's tough to watch, you know. But what I've tried to do with all my boys is first of all model before them what manhood is about, and not early on in my fatherhood experience. I did a lot of preaching, I did a lot of lecturing, I did a lot of hands-on, intense. I thought it was coaching at the time. I thought it was good, a good word every night, but you know, but I later on I realized, after I started seeing some of the results, that not only that tactic was producing, but also their decisions. I kind of pulled back. I pulled back a little bit, and I was still modeling what I thought was right. We have a very rich Christian-based experience. We're in the church. We've always had all the kids in the church, and the verdict isn't out yet. I mean, I hope that stays with them. The Bible says, "Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they shall not depart from it." And I hope that's true. I believe that's true. But at the end of the day, I think we have to let particularly our sons, we have to let them, when they won't readily accept your good counsel and what you think is good counsel, and they make their own decisions, and they begin to get out there starting their own lives. You kind of have to accept the decisions that they make for their lives, and allow them to make the mistakes that you already foresee. You already, like I said on the last broadcast that I was on, real men understand we can do a forecast. We can do a pretty reasonably accurate forecast of what the future is going to hold for our young people, based on what we see the quality of the decisions are right now, right? We can pretty much tell that story for them. And my wish has always been that I didn't want my sons in particular to repeat the same mistakes that I made. And I've tried diligently to share my story, talk about my experiences from being a young man, growing into a more mature man today. And and we have success in some cases, and we have less than success in other cases, and that's and that's the result of the decisions that they made for themselves. And
So Andre, let me ask you this, because so Brandon is your oldest. Is there something that you did with Brandon that you decided didn't work, and you didn't do it with Justin?
Oh, absolutely. So I became a father at 20 years old, and while I was still in college. And I met my son Brandon when he was 3 months old on spring break, when I went to New York to visit his mom. He and his mom went to visit his mom, who was in New York at the time, with her aunt, and I went to go and meet my son. And it was I will never forget the day that I walked in that house, and the evening that I walked in that house and saw him for the first time and held him for the first time, and I was just I fell in love immediately. And we had a wonderful wonderful time. That was a great week. And I remembered whispering. I remembered a few days later, we were at her grandmother's house in Brooklyn, and I was holding Brandon, and I whispered into his ear. You know, he obviously would not understand what I was saying, but I knew what I was saying to him. I knew the promise that I was ready to make to him, and I said, I will never leave you. I will always be here for you, and that's still true today. Um, he's made some pretty catastrophic decisions in his life, but and he's working through those. But I believe as long as you have more years in front of you than you have behind you, then there's always enough time to turn that thing around. And I think he's going to do some wonderful things with his life. And I'm continuing to encourage him in that regard. But it's tough to watch.
Yeah. And so, what would you say that you have decided to do that you decided, okay, with Brandon, you said, okay, I did something that I changed and I did differently with Justin.
Right. So I've shared this with you before, and I know what you're getting at. So when Brandon started to walk and talk and grow up and go to school and all of that, my now I'm still in my early 20s. I'm still growing and learning as to be a father. I'm still learning how to do the day-to-day stuff, to do being a dad, right? And what I found myself doing, particularly when he started to go to school. Sorry about that. Somebody's car is tripping.
Okay.
Particularly when he started to go to school, I started becoming very, very heavy-handed in my approach with him. It got to a point, Marcus, where by the time my son became a teenager, I don't believe he thought he could fail at anything. I don't believe he thought that it was okay, that it would be okay if he made mistakes because I set such a high bar for him, and and he didn't understand, and I didn't communicate to it on a more consistent basis the fact that it's okay to fall down, fail at something. It's okay to make a mistake as long as you learn from that, keep going. That wasn't that wasn't his experience, and he told me that later on in his life. He told me that, and I was glad he told me that Dad, he said, Dad, I never felt like I could fail at anything. I never felt like I could make a mistake. You were such a perfectionist, and you wanted perfection from me, and you demanded that from me. You expected that from me. So what he did was I think he realized that he could never satisfy my expectations, meet my expectations, and so he went the other way. Why bother? I'm never going to please this dude, so I'm going to just go the other way and do what I want to do. And he didn't do that. I did that to spite me, because we didn't have that kind of toxic relationship as father and son. We've always had a very respectful relationship, and we've always been able to talk. But I think it was just my heavy-handed approach with him early on in his life, and consistently throughout his young life, through his formative years, where I made the biggest mistake. And so when Justin came along, I had a few years in the game, and while I still had my very high expectations, I realized I had to modify my approach. And I tried to do that, and the message seemed to be, a lot more palatable and a lot more accepting, and I think in his case I was truly present more, you know, as a
Mhm.
as a compassionate father. Do you
Okay.
see?
Yeah. Let me catch up. Antoine Peak has joined us. DeAndre Churchboy Hurst, Alan Curry, Kevin Tates, Kim Wilson, Evelyn Graham, Anthony Whitney, Noah Williams, Hey Cuz, Brian Morgan, Nicole Black, Carmen Evans, Randall Herbert, Arthur Goodson, Robert Cooper, Joy Wahenderfer Greer, Antashay Howard, Lynn Sherman, hey brother, Jonathan Davis has joined us. Thanks so much. Has Justin made his appearance yet?
He
No,
has
still no
not. Let
Justin.
me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Calvin Jackson has joined us. So
he's two exits
what would you
away.
say?
He says.
2 exits away. Okay. So what would you say is the biggest lesson that you learned about parenting from parenting Justin? What's the biggest lesson you learned? Because you had some years in the game, as you said, and so what would you say is the biggest lesson you learned?
I think the biggest lesson, and not just with Justin, but with with all my boys, is first of all, it's never too, even when you make mistakes early on, it's never too late to try to make them to repent from those the mistakes that you made and ask for their
Mm-hmm.
forgiveness and and then to you know, cut yourself some slack. I don't believe in punishing myself perpetually for mistakes that I make. And but I think once they understand that you really do mean them well, and everything that you try to do has been geared toward uh, helping them uh, result into fine men. I think you just pull back and you just kind of
Mm-hmm.
accept the fact that whatever they do with their lives, whatever decisions they make for their lives, they're going to have to live with those decisions. And as long as they understand that, as long as the child understands that no matter what happens, you're always going to be there for them to support them and pick them up and help them keep going, then that's worth everything. That's good,
Okay.
and that's good enough.
Yeah. I was trying to get you to answer specifically about Justin, but we'll get him when he comes. What's the
Okay.
thing that makes you most proud of each of your children? What's the one thing about each of them that makes you most proud of them?
The one thing that I'm most proud of is that they're their own person. You know, they're their own person. They are becoming what they determine they want their lives to be about, and
Mm-hmm.
they're
Can
all
you give me a
blessed.
specific for each one?
Sure. So our oldest Gary is 31. He's a serial entrepreneur. Um, he's gonna be he's gonna be a wealthy man one day.
Mm-hmm.
He has a drive that is just admirable. He works. He's not a lazy guy. He's gifted in terms of this, you know, the skills. He can sell you your own stuff. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's got presence. He's he's a very good looking dude. That
Mm-hmm.
don't hurt. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and he's out there trying to make it. He realized early on that he didn't want to work for people. You know, he didn't want to. He calls me pops. And he didn't want to follow Pop's path to corporate America. You know, he wanted to get out there and get his bag for himself. And he's
Mm-hmm.
determined to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, there's a lot to say about that approach. And I think
Mm-hmm.
Justin just pulled up. Um,
Okay.
Brandon, I think Brandon is a I think he's a natural entrepreneur. He just doesn't know it.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so but he's a very loyal person.
Okay.
He's very loyal to the people he knows loves him and honors his position in their lives. So he's got that. Justin just walked in. See something.
Okay.
So baby. Travis is right ahead of Justin in terms of birth order. Travis, man, what can I say about Travis? Travis, we always said Travis was the smartest dude in the house. Whatever you wanted to know about anything, if you had a question, even Tracy and I, we would go and ask Travis what this means, what that means. He's an independent thinker. He's he will live his life on his own terms, no doubt about it. And there's a lot to be said about. I honestly, Marcus, I did not subscribe to that early on, and so. But what I tried to do, and this was a mistake. I tried to force Travis, as a square peg into a round hole. I tried to make him conform to a model that I grew to understand that was just completely incompatible with who he was as a person. And you can't do that. You can only guide your kids. You can't make them do anything. You can't once they become, like Pastor says, upsize. They're gonna make their own way. And all you have to do really is be accepting of that and say, hey, I love you no matter what. I'm here for you no matter what, and I wish the best for you. Yeah. And so Travis is out there doing his thing. He has a son now that he is absolutely in love with. We all are. He is he's the cutest baby. He's our sixth grandchild, and but he's going to be a great dad, no doubt about it.
Okay. Now, before you tell me about Simone, I'm going to catch up some folks. Casey Smith has joined us, Tim Dennis, J. Gerald Harvey, our senior associate producer, Tamika Austin, Rick Cranford, Crystal Jones, Brenda Z. Hello, Brenda Landry. Offer him to go to counseling with him. Okay. Jan Holmes Floyd has joined us. Is this Andre Greenstore? I came in late. Eunice Hunter has joined us. Okay. Tell us a little bit about Simone, and then I'm going to double back, and I want to ask both of you some questions and then ask you a little bit about the topic too. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, Justin was next. And so, we can, if you want to talk about Simone.
Then save Justin. Save Justin and go to Simone. We're going to come back.
Okay. Simone, oh my God. We don't have enough show to talk about Simone. Simone is our baby. She's 17. She's on her way to University of Michigan and graduated from Cass Tech. She's just the joy of our life. And she's so talented, and she's so articulate, and she's just so smart, and she's showing us she's giving us previews of the wonderful woman that she's gonna be. And she has her own thoughts too. She's not a lot of people may think that she's a carbon copy of her mom. She's not. She is not. She's her own. She's gonna be her own woman, and she's gonna be fierce. She's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. And she gets that too. I think she got a lot of. She watched her brothers. She watched her brothers' experience growing up, and she learned a lot from that. And she hasn't given us a day of trouble or conflict. And she's just the sweetest child. And we're just so proud of her, man.
Awesome. Now, Justin, slide in close to your dad so I can see you.
What you wear says something about you, about who you are, what you believe, and what you stand for. So here in the Love and Stuff community, we wear the brand that we live, and we live the brand that we wear because we love the brand. It's all about increasing the amount of love in the world and upping our love game. And if that's what you're about, you should wear it too.
It's right here.
Yeah, we got to get you in.
How you doing, Mr. Marcus?
All right, there you go. I'm good. I'm good. And most people don't know you call me Mr. Marcus, so I don't have to explain that. But Justin, first of all, how old are you, sir?
I'm 22 now.
22 now. Okay. And we've been talking a little bit about your dad, about his sons and daughters, and a little bit about you, how he might have decided to raise you slightly different. You know, parents, you learn as you go, right? So you're learning a little, yes. He learned a little bit more because you were the second one, right?
Yes.
What would you say makes you most proud of who your dad is? What makes you most proud of him?
Just one thing, or basically a summary?
Just you know, it's not that long to show. I know you got a whole lot of stuff.
You said the most thing. I'm sorry. I apologize.
That's okay.
His relentlessness to support his family no matter what, in any circumstances. That's a testimony of him being that's a testament to him being a man, a godly man, and a family man at the same time. And it's that's a rare quality and a rare skill that God blessed him with to have, and not even God blessed him with, that he has in his heart that he wants to do for, that he doesn't have to do it many times, that he still does because he wants to in his heart. And I admire that. I look up to it, and I'm setting stones in my path to become that same man.
Fantastic. And what would you say is the lesson that he taught you that sticks out to you most? What's the one thing they taught you that stands out to you most?
Since I was a kid, he always told me, we just have to work 2 times harder, no matter what. And basically, life, it always gets harder. It never gets easier. Mm-hmm. Don't complain. Get through it. And whatever you go through, trust that God has already made the conclusions on what the outcome is, and you have to have faith that he's going to get you through it, because he wouldn't put you through anything that you're not ready for.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
and has there been any? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. So that's where I get the not being afraid of anything, just not complaining about anything, just not really stressing on anything too much for it, because I know God's gonna take care of it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And was there anything your dad ever told you, like a piece of advice that he gave to you that you didn't listen to, and now you're like, I understand, I get the lesson?
Yes. He told me I should have stayed there. He wanted to go away from home. He wanted me to go away and learn different parts of the world and different parts of different states. And I was, honestly, Mr. Marcus, I was well off. I was great in West Virginia. I was a freshman. And I just felt like I wasn't comfortable enough. He told me about 10 times. And basically, it was, one week it was you're doing this. And then the next week it was basically, I still was pushing it to leave school. Mm-hmm. And he just let me do he just put me in a position to let me do what I wanted to do, and me figure out the outcome. And the outcome, I have 1 year left of school left. I know for sure I would have finished if I would have stayed at West Virginia in 4 years. Mm-hmm. So that's just like a pill that I have to swallow. Mm-hmm. But in your question, that's something that he always told me I should have listened to, and I just think about it every day, really, now.
Okay. And from our inbox, you probably haven't had a chance to hear our inbox story, but from our inbox, it's the dad who's trying to give his son advice, and the son won't listen to the advice. What would you say to your peers and friends around you who don't want to listen to their dad's advice? Because, you know, at your age, you're 22, you've got some experience under your belt, and you might think you know the answers. What would you tell your peers and friends who don't want to take their dad's advice?
You got to just put yourself in there, take a step back and put yourself in their shoes, and just trust that they've been there before. Literally, that's not just a saying. You have to just trust that they want what's best for you, not more so a dictatorship and just what they have to, this their way or the highway, but it's more so that it's really genuinely for your best interest, and they have to trust that.
Okay.
It's
And
never
you're
a
going to
dictator.
soon be. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was
No,
just
go
saying it's
ahead.
never a dictatorship. It's never a dictatorship type of situation. It's always for your best interest. So just trust that.
Okay. And you are going to be a dad soon, correct?
Correct. I have a son on the way in September. He's due in September. His name will be Julian Denzel Green.
Oh, you got the name already. Okay. Congratulations.
Yes.
And so tell me, what will you do exactly like your dad did when raising you? And tell me, what will you do different than what your dad did in raising your son?
I would make sure that he knows who God is,
Mm-hmm.
and he knows that he has a family who loves him and will always take care of him, and that he's
Mm-hmm.
supported. One thing that I would not do is think about, because I don't really
Your dad not gonna hit you. Don't
I
worry
would
about
no
it.
okay no, my dad spoils me.
Ah.
I'm spoiled, and
Mm-hmm.
some circumstances in my life right now, and I'm 22.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've getting myself out of this habit already, to where my
Mm-hmm.
funds financially, I know that
Mm-hmm.
they're good. I used to in high school, no, in college, I would be like, oh, I can just enjoy my time. I know my dad got me.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not how I want. I want him to have that insured. I want him to know that, but I don't want him to run with that and out here in the world, in the real world, and
Mm-hmm.
situations come where I'm not tight and I can't do it for him, and we're both, and he's in a bad position because I can't help him, and I don't want him to lean on me so much to the point where he doesn't even think about what he has to do for himself. And I had to learn that. So I had to get myself out of that comfort zone that I had. I'm 22 now, and I have to think about what I have to do now for not only myself but my son now. But that's one thing that
And
I
Andre,
wouldn't do.
go ahead. Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that I wouldn't do so much is just I don't. In terms of clothes and things that he needs, he's gonna get that. But the wants, I wouldn't do it so much every time, because my dad doesn't let me down for anything.
Yeah.
Anything. I don't. It's nothing. Anything. And
Yeah. So you're
he
gonna
won't.
make him work harder for what he gets.
Yes, and then I'll let him. If the situation comes, I'll let him take the fall on the face. And my dad has let me take the fall on the face, but most 9 times out of 10, he just won't do it because he doesn't want to see it.
Got it. And probably, Justin, you're such a cute kid. You're not a kid anymore. You're a grown man. But as a kid, you were a cute kid, so it would be hard for him not to. I get it. I get that.
Yes.
Andre, now
Yeah.
Justin's going to be a young dad like you were a young dad. What advice would you give to him from when you were a young dad?
So, right, that's a great question. I knew when he came to my office and told and prepared himself to tell me that he was about to be a father, I took one look at his face, and I said, I told him she's pregnant, because he had this long pregnant pause, no pun intended. But I knew what he was about to tell me, and we had talked about that. We talked about how difficult that decision was going to be, and not impossible, but just difficult and different, and he did. I didn't feel like he needed he needed that level of stress and anxiety, everything that comes with that responsibility so early in life, right? Having been 20 years old myself when I became a father. So um, um, what what I know, he's going to be a great dad as well. He's going to fall in love with his child just like I did, and just like Travis has, just like Gary has done, and just like Travis is doing right now. You know, he's going to be just as devoted to his child, and he's going to be um, his child is going to be, the moment he gets here, his child is going to be the center of his universe, and he's going to do what he has to do, even if it means sacrificing on some of the things that he wants to achieve for himself, like basketball. He's already made some decisions in that regard. What I would tell him, and what I think he's going to do is just first of all, believe in himself, seek God's guidance for himself as a father. Seek and having children having children does bring you closer to the Lord, because you stay on your knees all the time, and because you're praying for them, because you've done everything you can do, and at the end of the day, they're His children on loan to us and in our stewardship, and but these are His children that we have the custody of, and it's incumbent upon us to raise them in the way that He says that they should go. And so we have to be in agreement and in understanding of what that path is. And so I think Justin's gonna be that kind of a dad. I think he's going to seek God's guidance. I think he's going to come in. What I'm so excited about is to see him come into a new level of his relationship with God, because now because he will be a father, and he will understand a little more clearly what our Heavenly Father, sometimes what we put him through when we're disobedient, we don't follow the path, and that's gonna strengthen his overall relationship. So I'm looking forward to seeing.
So follow God's guidance.
Right.
And what other advice would you give for him as a young father, from what you learned from being a young father?
Right. So what I would also tell you is cut yourself some slack. You know, give yourself a learning curve. You know, you're gonna have a learning curve, and you're not alone. That's the other thing. That's the biggest thing for me. You're not alone. You have many role models in your family who have gone this, taken this path on the fatherhood journey. You've seen the results. You have any number of examples to draw upon and advice to draw upon to help you make the decisions and help you mature as a dad as you go forward. So don't. And just all we're doing is waiting. All we're doing is waiting for you to ask us. We have a family of strong men, strong, successful men in their own right, who are fathers, and so he has. I didn't do that. I didn't avail myself to that wisdom early on. I thought it was all on me, and that's why I struggled the way I did, and that's why I made some of the mistakes that I made, because I didn't leverage all of that knowledge that was available to me. I want him to know that it's there for you. Don't be afraid to ask for the help, ask for the guidance, ask for the advice. Okay.
And Justin, I want to ask you,
before I do, I want to introduce a few more people that are coming in. But Justin, I want to ask you, what does it mean to you to hear what your dad just said to you? So think on that for 1 second while I introduce other folks. Philip Patrick has joined us, Andre Clay, Cheryl Swacker O'Neill, Eric Powell. Happy birthday, Eric Powell. Cecil Williams, El Bakai Hernandez, Lynn Shaw, William Lyons, Bonnie Von Vonnet, Angela B., David Carter, Lena Brown, Arnaldo Jimenez has joined us. Tamuk Scruggs has joined us. Kim James has joined us. I'm loving the great relationship he and his father has. This is rich. Thank you, Angie B. Kira Coleman Ward has joined us. Marshan Parham Darby. Stack up on the diapers and wipes, Carmen says. Pray and all right, who else has joined us? Stay in his life even when he pushes you away. Get on his nerves if you must. You will need a thicker skin than him. Tracy Green has joined us. That's wonderful. Thanks. So Justin, hearing your dad saying, you know, he didn't leverage the resources that were there for him, but you're not alone. You got a village to help you. How does that make you feel? How do you feel after hearing that?
When I first found out about being a father, I was very nervous, and very scared. Just the fact that I have a life to teach, that I'm still learning myself a lot. I'm learning every day, trying to. So that was just a scary. And I didn't. I started doubting myself and everything. This is well before I told him, and when he told me that, it just gave me a sense of secureness. Security. I'm sorry. So it gave me a sense of security. Calmed me down. It just gave me a new faith. Gave me a reason to have faith, and just gave me the, what's the right word I'm looking for?
Use anyone you want.
Gave me the
determination.
Yes, determination. Gave me the determination and the confidence. He gave me the confidence that I'm going to be a great father. That's the word I was looking for. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, he gave me the confidence that I'm going to be a great father.
And what I told him, Marcus, is, hey, you know, it's not impossible. It can be done. You've made it a little more difficult for yourself, a little more challenging for yourself, but you can do this. You can do this, and I told Travis the same thing. You know, he and they're doing it. You know, and he's gonna do the same thing. You do what you have to do. You rise to the challenge. That's what we want our young people to understand. You have to rise to the challenge. You can't fold. You can't. This boy, when he was in the 11th grade, he lost part of his. Now he's a basketball player.
That was 12th grade something.
12th grade? Okay.
That was my.
Oh, you were just on your way to college. That's right. So the summer before he left for college to go play basketball at Salem University in West Virginia, he had a freak accident at his school, and he lost part of his baby finger on his shooting hand. And he thought his basketball career was over. And I, quite frankly, I thought it was too. I didn't tell him that at the time, but I was scared as hell. I was, is he gonna come back from this? You know, but what I saw, he was 2 weeks out of the hospital with a fully wrapped left hand. He was back in the gym working on his right hand. Okay, and so what that told me was this boy got something in him. You know, he's got something in him that says don't quit. And so that was a really good measure for me to and I was amazed. Tracy and I were both shocked. We were like, wow, he's nothing's gonna stop him, and nothing, and things like that are gonna. It's hard to watch something like that. It's hard to watch a catastrophe like that happen to your child. And we were devastated. We were absolutely devastated. We didn't know what to say. except that you're going to recover, you're going to be fine, you're going to, all those things, right? But we didn't know. We weren't sure. We didn't know if, as much as he loves basketball, as much as basketball has been a part of his life since he was 3 years old, we didn't know that he would never, he would ever shoot a basketball again. We hoped he would, but we didn't know. But he determined that he would, and so that, and he's doing it now, and that is, and you never know. Cats who play against him now don't even know that he's impaired on his left hand, and he's still shooting the lights out. So, that you find out along this road what kind of what you have, what kind of kid do you have? What do you have? What have you done? What's the measure of a man? And you find out as they go through hardship, as you allow them to go through hardship. That's what the thing is. Like you said, I've allowed him to go through. He may not feel like it, but I've allowed him to go through things.
Yeah.
And because if for no other reason but to just decrease my own stress level.
Marcus, I want to congratulate you on Love and Stuff. I really want you to know that staying grateful and understanding the power of what it is to be operating out of a space of abundance and gratitude is the most important part of every journey of every day. So Marcus June, congratulations on this book. It's on Amazon now. That makes me so proud of you and your family and me and my family, and every single person around us gets it. So good on you for bringing it into the hands and the laps and the Kindles of all the people. Okay, so we're gonna check it out. Can't wait to learn more.
When I give some advice and it's not followed, I don't trip out no more. I say, hey, okay, well, you got to bump your own head, or you got to figure it out for yourself, or you're gonna have to work it out for yourself. And I allow that to happen, and over time it gets easier. It gets easier to watch, because at this point nothing's fatal. Nothing's gonna be life ending. It's maybe life altering, but as long as you wake up every day, you got another chance to get it right and recover from it.
Justin, I want to ask you, what are your dreams? What are your dreams, Justin?
Right now, currently, my dream is to my dream in the next 5 years, or dreams just like in the next 5 years, I want to have 30,000 in the bank at least, and I want to have my own apartment. I want to have my own crib. My son to be taken care of, healthy, and me just pouring my all into him, and finishing school. I want to have my degree. I got 1 year left. I want to have my degree, all that settled, everything in my life to be secured. I don't want to be every day getting my life together. I want everything to be together and just keep flirting and keep growing from there. And those are my dreams right now. Basketball isn't my dream anymore. I have just to let everybody know, I'm still currently on the team. I'm still currently on the team, but with a life coming in, I don't want to be selfish to him at all, and still go for what's going for me. If I'm not getting a real bag off it, like money wise, it's not there anymore. And I've come to terms with that, and I'm ready to just make real money and put my son in the best position to be successful and be comfortable. That's my
Okay.
only right.
And how do you think your dad's influence have helped to shape your dreams?
He wanted me to keep playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted me to still do what I wanted to do, and whatever he wanted,
Mm-hmm.
whatever I wanted to do, he trusted me and
Mm-hmm.
gave me that security that my decision was
Mm-hmm.
he was gonna roll with it 100%. And
Mm-hmm.
but what he's instilled in me my whole life was to do what needs to be done, and what needs to be done is to get a job, a good paying
Mm-hmm.
job, not just a A to B job,
Mm-hmm.
a real job,
Mm-hmm.
and just start from scratch and just get it rolling for my son, which I know I can do. And sometimes it's funny because my dad had put me in a position, or life would just put me in a position where I have to go on my own thinking, and he'll put me in my own thinking, but it's his answer that'll come out, and he'll just I fear I hope that his thinking and his morals and way of teaching me is coming out in my thinking and decisions right now.
Yeah. I asked you that because when you said you already have the dollar figure that you have in mind, which sounds like your dad, and you want to have an apartment, you want a crib, that sounds like your dad. I just wondered if you recognize what influence your dad might have on your visions, and that was kind of in your dreams, because you know there are young men that don't have a dad. So
Yeah,
can you imagine that they don't have an influence on what their dreams or visions would be because they haven't seen it modeled out before them,
right,
right?
right, and that's a big picture in terms of no example. You really don't have nothing to go on off of except your own path. So I'm very blessed to have a literal path to go by and see. Okay, that does work out because he's successful. So why would I not do that? That'd be foolish.
And Marcus,
Um, um,
Marcus,
Before you respond, I just want to introduce a few people that are coming in.
sure.
Kamal Williams is coming in. Uh, Andre Clay, thank you, sir, so much. She's our next guest. Gary Jackson has come in. Thanks so much. To Luke Scruggs, you put a link in there. I'm not sure what that's to. Tracy said they know now. That's your wife. Vanessa Nelson Harden has come in. Carmen says it's hard for any parent to allow their children to grow through things in life. As a mom, I always try to soften the blow if possible. Eventually, you have to allow them to fall and pick themselves up. Good point. Cedric Jones has joined us. Thank you, sir. If that's your dream, stick to it. Carmen says, I agree. Plan your work and work your plan. You get whatever you want, young man. That's good advice. You can do it all. You just have to learn how to multitask. Okay. Good. Continue blessings to you both. Okay. So, Andre, you were gonna say.
Well, I think he hit the nail right on the head in terms of my overarching. If I have a green doctrine, okay, I guess it would be what he just said. Do what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Marcus, you know that I have some dreams that I've deferred,
Mm-hmm.
but because I've deferred those dreams because I've because I've done what I felt I had to do
Mm-hmm.
in order to provide a home and provide a lifestyle for my family that
Mm-hmm.
that I needed to provide, and I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm
Are
okay
you
with
ever concerned about that impact that might have had on Justin?
Pardon me?
Have you ever been concerned of the impact that you deferring your dreams might have had on Justin? Because it sounds like you were pushing him to keep going with basketball. Was that part of you saying, hey, don't put your dreams on the side like I have?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, all the boys. You know, it's because that's a tough decision. It's a tough decision to wake up knowing that you need to do something. You want to do something else. Your heart's desire is something else, something that you're not already doing. That's tough to face every day.
Mm-hmm.
But the at the end of the day, you know, we got to pay the bills. We got to keep the house. We got to keep the cars. We got to, we got to keep living. And so, I've done it. I go back and forth with my wife all the time about that dream that's out there, and when I get discouraged, she's the first one to say, don't shut it down completely, keep working at it, keep, let's keep doing it. I'm, she's down like 4 flat tires. So, what I want for him, and I still thought that there was a way he could get the goal was overseas basketball, a professional contract overseas, and I don't think that's out of his reach. I still don't. And the beauty of that would be that's how he would provide for his child. We'll see if that pans out.
I have a combine.
Now let me jump in there, Justin. What do you think about hearing that? Do you think that that's something that you might pursue? Hearing your dad saying that, because to me, in essence, he's saying, Justin, you're good enough to get a contract overseas. So hearing that, what does that say to you?
It gives me confidence, extra confidence that it's in the doubt areas. It fills those holes. I have confidence in myself as a player, of course, but when someone else that's spectating your game, that can see the whole game and what you do as an impact, and tell you that you can go get it, you can go get paid for this. That's a confidence builder. That's a for sure a confidence builder. And I have a combine next month at Callahan Hall around the corner. It's gonna be about 50 overseas scouts and community for me to showcase my talents.
And you better go.
And so, Justin, what if you showcase your talents, Justin, and they say we want you? What will you do?
If my name is on the check due to me, and they want me to play for them, I'm gonna do that to the best of my abilities for as long as I can. I thank God for it. I'll be greatly appreciated for it. But that's why I'm still in the gym. I still get my push-ups in. I still get my miles in. I'm not sleeping on the dream, but I am also dealing with the reality of the life that I'm in right now. I'm not, and I don't want to lack. I'm keeping them at a balance the best way that I can. I don't want to I don't want to lose my car because I'm in the gym 16 hours throughout the day and I haven't made any money today. And reality-wise, I have to make money. So it's both those areas that I'm feeling. But if it doesn't work out this summer, and I have a whole lot of pro players, I have a whole lot of pro friends, or pretty much all of my friends are in pro basketball right now, and they're telling me, and I train with them, they're telling me I can do it. I'm going to give it my all next month, and we're going to see what holds.
Okay. Before I go to our next guest, and I want to thank you both for being on, what is the one thing, Andre, that you would say to sons about carving their own path in life?
The first thing I would say is, sons should understand that their fathers are, while they might be their idols, they're not their gods, and their fathers are not perfect. Fathers are going to make mistakes. Fathers are going to say things and do things that are not going to be good for you. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to give you, at times, bad guidance. And you should be ready to, and that father, a good father is going to acknowledge that. Hopefully, if that father has as good a wife as I've had for the last 13 years, to help counsel, okay, because it's not just the father's guidance; it's the wife's and the mother's guidance that's impactful as well. I mean, my wife has done more for me in terms of helping me adapt and change my approach to being a father than anybody in the world. Okay, she really has helped me improve upon that and really have mercy, right? And not be so punitive and not be so and she's not and she that's not to say that she's a softie either, when she can get on these kids too. But I would say to sons in particular, pick a goal, decide what your goal is, decide what your target is, and pursue it with all deliberate speed and tenacity, and go after that thing. Because what we don't want to see, what we don't ever, and what we ought not accept ever, is a lack of intensity. You say you got a goal, go after the goal. And if you're not going after the goal, then what the hell are you doing? You see what I'm saying? And that's my litmus test. My litmus test for my children, especially my boys, is if you're not meeting your mark, if you're not meeting your milestones, there's a reason why. So let's look at what you're doing. What are you not doing to meet what you say your goals are, and what you want to do for your life? Okay, that's how I challenge these days. I hold up a mirror. All I do is hold up a mirror and say, hey, these are the results, buddy. These are the results. You're not where you're not where you say you want to be. So either you're messing with me, there's another colorful word I could use. Okay, either you're BSing me, or you're not truly committed to what you say you want to do. So pick something.
Yeah.
Pick,
okay.
What is it? Which is it? And we'll have to do a course correct. And if we have to do a course correct, I can help you with that. But at the end of the day, be committed to something. Be committed, and most of all, be committed to your own success and lean in and do it.
Thank you. And Justin, so you're about to be a father. Congratulations. What is the thing that you think is the most important thing that a father should be or do?
A supporter, and whatever he wants to do, 100%. I want him to play basketball. If he wants to play soccer, if he wants to play baseball, if he wants to be a pianist, if he wants to be a preacher, whatever he's going to do, whatever he wants to do, I'm going to be behind it 100%, and just support him and make sure he's prepared and wherever he wants for whatever he wants to do, and make sure that he's enjoying it. If he doesn't enjoy it, he doesn't need to do it, or think that I want him to do something that he doesn't want to do.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yes. Thank you, Andre and Justin Green, for joining me. I appreciate allowing the Love and Stuff community to see your wonderful father and son relationship. And I know you both are blessed to have it, because there are so many that do not have it. And so we're going to be talking in a series of conversations. There's a dad and son that we're going to have on another show who haven't seen each other in years.
Wow.
If you can imagine that.
Wow.
So it's important for them to be able to hear your story, to hear how the sacrifices that you all have made. And then there's a dad who's coming on right behind you who unfortunately had a son that was taken away from him tragically. So I hope that you will stick around to hear Andre's story. His name is Andre as well. And his oldest son's name was Justin.
Is that right?
So it'll be interesting. Stick around.
All right, we will. Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you.
Yep, that's Andre and Justin Green, outstanding father and son, who have joined us. And now I'm going to bring in Andre Clay, another outstanding dad whose eldest son named Justin. His story a little different, but I want, during these series of fathers and sons discussions, hopefully something that is shared will have a father and or a son rethinking. I'm hoping our father and son from the inbox will be rethinking as well. Hey, Andre Clay, how you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on. So I read one of the comments. You said your eldest son, his name is Justin.
Yes. His name Andre. I thought that
And
was
his name is Andre.
yeah.
And so how many sons, Andre, did you have?
How many sons? I have 5 sons and 1 daughter.
Okay. And tell me the ages and names of your sons.
No, I got 6 kids. I got 6 sons and 1. My wife had it, man.
Okay. You didn't lose okay, you got to keep counting now.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me their names and their ages.
I have Justin 24. Who next? Dre, he would have been 19. He would have been 23. Okay. 22. Akinle, Minister Akinle Spate, that's my stepson, one of my love kids.
Okay.
Alante Spate, that's another one.
Okay.
Deron and Torian, they are 13 and 10.
Okay.
And then my daughter is Anaya. She's 14.
Okay. And so Justin is the oldest. Is he the one that just graduated from college?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Congratulations on that. How did that make you feel to be sitting in the audience and seeing your son graduate from college?
Wow, man. It was unbelievable. It really was unbelievable. I really wanted to jump down and run around the stage and act crazy. Because it was real positive, because we took all the kids with us so that they could see it too.
They
so
could
that they
see
could see that this is attainable for you. It's not just your big brother doing it. This is something you can do too. And actually, I have a son graduate. Alante is graduating this year. He's going down there. Okay. He'll be down there in school at Lane also.
Okay. And so your son is graduated from Lane. Is he planning to stay down there, or what field is he planning to go in? Is he coming back this way?
He's not coming back this way. He's plans to go to Texas, but he's in the media. He does the media.
Okay.
He down there. He has his own show.
Oh wow.
Interviewing the coaches.
Wow.
He went down there for sports, but he ended up turning and going towards the media part of sports. So he like he's the commentator. He kind of like, I want to say, Stephen A. and all the guys who commentate and had a show talking to the coaches. He has his own show talking to the coaches.
Got it. You said something earlier. You took all the kids down there because you wanted them to see how important is modeling the behavior for children, especially for fathers and older brothers. How important is that to you, Andre?
I believe it's very important. It's very important because the way they look up to him, and to see him do something and accomplish something that big, lets them know that I'm next.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and so then next,
that's what we was feeling with that. Now my 19-year-old, he's a minister. He's still home. He graduated last year. He's a minister. So he's in. So he all over the city.
And tell me about your second son, who was taken away from you tragically. Tell me about him. What was he like? How old was he?
He was 19 when he got took. He was a very he was to himself type of guy. He wasn't like the one that graduated. He outgoing. Then we got him, who I'm gonna keep to myself. He had his own friends. He had his He had his own way about being himself. he was one of them kids that was a loner.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to try to get him to go to the service because he's the kind of kid that could go to the service and do it and excel at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I really ain't a service type of guy, but
Mm-hmm.
I wanted that for him because that was more his thing. But he didn't want it, so unfortunately, he thought a guy was a friend, and he wasn't.
And if you can share with us what happened. What happened?
Well, he got in trouble. He got out of jail. Called his friend over. Told him to come smoke with him. He came over, and from my understanding, you know, when the streets tell you, the guy wanted to take the gun that he had. He ended up shooting him with it.
I'm so sorry to hear that. And the guy who ended up shooting him with it, he went through the system and he is incarcerated.
No.
Okay.
They acquitted him. The juries, one of the jurors we had, she had attitude with another juror, so she stopped deliberating. So they called that a mistrial.
Mm.
The second jury, he got a new lawyer. New lawyer kind of put a different spin on things.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of older people on that jury, and
Mm-hmm.
they didn't understand, like, because they didn't have a gun.
Mm-hmm.
And what they had was a lot of technical stuff. His phone being in the area, him telling he wasn't in the area. And, you know, the older people, they don't understand the technical, the tech stuff, the phones putting people where they supposed to be at. And he's saying he here, and he's saying he was watching the news, and at the time he was not watching the news. His phone was here. It was kind of a technical thing that we were trying to get him on, but through the blessings of God, he got out off of that, turned around, got in trouble. He's locked up.
Wow.
So he's still doing the time. I don't care how he's doing it. He's doing the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Though that would, I mean, I know, I can only imagine, Andre, that there is some justice in that, but it's not the ultimate justice, right?
It's not
there,
the ultimate
there could never
justice,
really be
right.
any ultimate justice.
Right. I'll never, because I think a lot, like, he never got an opportunity to have a child. He never had an opportunity to experience life. He didn't get a chance to go through his ups and downs, and he didn't get a chance to do that. He didn't get a chance to grow as a man.
Yeah.
You know, and that bothers me sometimes. But like when my son graduated, he kind of dedicated that graduation to him. Last year, when my son, even this year, my son is graduating. He got a chain with his name, with him and him, a picture of both of them on it, and he like it don't come off. Well, last year, he had a special tribute to him, so they kind of dedicating his death to their triumphs. You know, like their accomplishments, they put it like they know he watching over them.
Okay. Can you tell us something, your favorite thing about your son?
My favorite thing about Andre was he was Andre. He was just different. His smile and my favorite thing about him was he didn't need nobody. He didn't depend on nobody. He want to go get it, he going to get it. He want to go do it, he gonna do it. When he was little, he used to go cut grass, he do anything to make him a couple dollars. He didn't ask you, can he go to he didn't ask you, can you give him $1 to go to the store? He gonna go sweep the neighbor porch to get $1. So his drive was like the ultimate to me.
Mm-hmm. And so our person in the inbox, he's saying that he gives his son advice and the son won't listen. What would you say to sons that don't listen to their father's advice?
Slow down. Slow down. Life happens. It's gone. Don't rush it to happen. Because I think with my son's situation, he was kind of rushing life so he can. And I tell all the rest of them, slow down. Don't rush into it. Let life happen. Let it happen for you. It's gonna come. You when we talk, a lot of times as parents, we trying to give them their advice, but we talk so harsh and we like kind of don't ease off, but kind of listen to them also. Kind of listen to them, listen to their opinions, because that was a big problem I had with not listening to. I was going off of what I was always told. Nigga, you ain't got an opinion. like that's my mom and them tell me, like, you ain't got an opinion. Your opinion is my opinion. But that's what I was always going on. Different strokes for different folks. You gotta kind of listen to these kids nowadays. You know, with I've learned with the coaching that I do that it's a lot of kids that got a lot of problems that we don't understand. That's in, it might be in school, it might be at home, and they don't have nowhere to reach out to. So as a parent, what we have to do is give them somewhere to reach out to that's comfortable instead of them reaching out outside the home. So I'd rather let you be yourself and talk to me than to bottle you up and not let you go.
Okay. I want to introduce a few more people who have come in, but I want you to think on this. You're coaching, and so there must be some of those boys that don't have the influence of a dad around them. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that right after I introduce a few more people. Let's see who's come in. Michael Flanoia has come in. Thank you, Sir Jerome Rutledge. Appreciate you. Andrea Phillips Stubbs, Earl Dawkins, Yashika Holston, Rena Hinton. Thank you so much. Dorindia Shepherd, Aria Mooney. This is beautiful to hear and see. Thank you so much. Leek Turner, thank you so much. Pamela Ruffin, Yvette Baldwin, Charlita McInnes, Michael Kemp, Joanne Ingram, Tamika Brown Edwards, Mark Loses. This is Deep Cousin. Talk it out, bruh. Bernard Mitchum, Rita Reed. Okay, so you're a coach. How long have you been coaching?
Since 05.
Okay, so about 14 years. And how many of the young men that come through your team? Now, you're coaching football?
I do both. I just started getting into the basketball the last 3 years. I never wanted to coach basketball because I still was playing, and I was gonna be a little harder on the basketball. So I coached the basketball, but now I'm doing high school basketball at Robershard High School, assistant coach out there. But I've been doing Little League football since 05.
Okay. And so I'm sure you run across young men whose father is missing.
Many. We have way more mothers out there trying to get their kids to be a little tougher, or I need to see a man. We get a lot of that, and it's actually getting better. It's actually getting better with this younger generation of young men. We get more participation with their kids than we did back when I first started coaching. When I first started coaching, you would see a field for the women over there cheering for their kids. Now you got team dads. You got a whole. They make their own little thing bigger than the mothers. Okay. Like, so it's really getting better now.
Okay. And what values do you try to instill in these young men?
My biggest thing is, first of all, it ain't the sport. You're an athlete. You're a school. You're a student.
Mm.
That's my biggest thing. Preaching to them that
Mm-hmm.
beyond being an athlete, you're a student. Don't get caught up on, I'm here to play football. I'm here to play basketball. I'm here to do this. It ain't about that.
Mm-hmm. Somehow we lost Andre. Let's try to get him back in. This conversation is great. I appreciate both Andres. And as you notice, they have a similarity in that they both have sons named Justin. And that totally was not planned. I'm not even sure I knew that Andre Clay had a son named Justin. I knew he had a son named Andre, who unfortunately was tragically taken away from us. And I wanted to talk to him a little bit about coaching, because he's been coaching, and we've been trying to get you all to support the Raiders by buying tickets. They've got some things coming up. So I thought it was timely to have him. But I also want to talk to him about the young man who unfortunately took the life of his son. And I wanted to find out what his thoughts were about that young man. So I'm going to try to get him back in 1 second. Tanisha, Ms. Taz Bailey, thanks so much for joining us, as well as Connie Bell and Elaine McGuire. Let's see if I can get Andre back in. We're talking to fathers about their sons, and this is a part of our series on fathers and sons. As we move towards Father's Day, we wanted to continue the conversation and dialogue. There are fathers that are estranged from their sons. There are fathers who are great fathers to their sons. There are fathers, as you heard Andre Green say, hey, we're not gods, we're not perfect, but we do what we can to provide for our families in the best way that we can. And sometimes that puts our dreams on deferred. Okay, I'm looking for Andre. I don't. What? Oh, we're having that challenge with them. And so we wanted definitely to have these conversations with dads. I'm going to double back to him in 1 second as soon as Andre pulls that together. Go to our senior associate producer. Just want to grab him in here for a second while we get Andre a chance to recalibrate. It's 9:55, and what a great show. I hope that you are sharing the show. Tag 5 to 10 people. We have to get our views up above 1,000. This last week we haven't quite made it to 1,000, but I know that some of you are just late watching the show. That's what it is. And so we want to make sure that we get above 1,000 views. Our goal is 60 shares and 1,000 views. And our other goal that we're working on is to get 20,000 followers on our page. All right. Looks like I can see you, but I can't really. There you go. All right. So senior associate producer, thanks for joining us while Andre gets his camera situation together. What do you think about these? I think these are powerful stories from their pages about their fatherhood. What do you think?
Yeah, I think those are, and I think it's, I'm just glad that we have some men who want to share those stories with each other and with the community. You know, a lot of times and I say this a lot, we suffer in silence. We think that we're the only ones that's dealing with different issues. We think that we're the only ones who have come through some tough times and are still going through some tough times, wishing that we could do more as men for our sons and even for any of our children. And being that foundation in the household, a lot of times we suffer in silence thinking that it's just us. But no, it's a lot of men that are going through these same situations, and it's refreshing with this chapter of Love and Stuff that we're able to even maybe break down some of the barriers and some of those strongholds in our sons so that it's not a generational thing.
So yeah, I think that's really key, Jay Gerald, because without knowing it, we can pass down so many things to our sons that they will then pass down to their sons unless there is some breaking of that, right?
Exactly.
And so I think it's important to have a platform where fathers can come as well to talk about things that they may not have thought they were handing down to their sons. And sometimes you're just trying to do the very best that you can do, and you're in essence handing down a legacy to your son, maybe one unintended, and there's certainly consequences to something that's unintended. Okay, I see that Andre has come back. Thank you, Jay Gerald. I may come back to you in a minute.
All right.
But I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right.
Our senior associate producer, Jay Gerald Harvey, consider it a commercial break. He is a godsend to the show, to the community, and to me. So I appreciate it. Now, Andre Clay, you disappeared. You were just here. Okay. And Rochelle Glover has joined us. Thanks so much for coming to Love and Stuff. All right. Lena Brown has joined us. Thanks for coming to Love and Stuff. I'm going to go to Michael Kemp while I wait for Andre Clay to come back. And I hope that you are clicking share right now and tagging a few of your closest Facebook friends to join us, which would be wonderful. All right. I hope Michael Kemp is being added in as we speak. Okay, Andre, I'm going to get you back in. I didn't see you. Let me try it. Let's see. There you go. All right. Gotcha. Bringing Andre Clay back in. To continue our conversation. Those of you that are just joining, we started out talking from our inbox, and we invited some dads and a son and another dad to come in the conversation and talk, pull some pages from their own story as well. Adding in Andre, you got to come on in while he's coming. So from our inbox, I love my son and I've been where he's at. I've been unemployed, underemployed. I've been in hot and heavy love multiple times. I've been in baby mama and baby daddy drama. When I married his mom, I learned that his little brother was not mine. To this day, we have never told our children that the youngest is not mine. I'm divorced and regretting how things turned out with his mom. Every misstep I made, he has the very near potential to make right now. And when I offer advice, he does the exact opposite. Choice of job, choice of friends, choice of girlfriend, financial choices. Some things he will have to learn on his own, but I don't want to lose my son to drugs, violence, or anything or anyone else. What should I do besides pray? And so that's the main thing you're going to hear. I think that you hear from Andre Green. Model it out in front of him and pray. Okay, I think I'm getting you in now. Let's see if I can get you in now. Wait, there you go. Let's see if I can get you in. Hopefully you're coming in. So what should you do? What should a father do when he's giving advice to the son and you're saying, I've been down that road, buddy. I'm trying to tell you. And the son is like, let me do me. The challenge in letting you do you is I know where you are going to end up, where I was. But you do have to allow some space. You've heard these fathers say to, have some mercy, have some grace. Maybe not always the hard approach. Andre Green even said, hey, his wife helped him to temper that with some mercy. And it helped to shape how he would then parent his sons. Because sometimes fathers, if you'll give me some likes, we might have a tendency to lead with a hard hand, especially if it's a boy concern, right? We lead with a hard hand. We say, a man, you're going to do this, and you're going to be a man, and you're going to be this. And sometimes I don't think we intend, we just think that he needs a little bit more harshness than others might need. And each child needs something different. You don't know that when that child is born, but intuitively, it's an innate something that You learn what your children need, but sometimes we might misstep with being a little tough where we could have been a little tender. When we were a little aggressive, we could have been a little ginger, right? And with boys as well as with girls, so that you help him to develop, you make room for him to make the mistakes, but you help him to develop ways of moving through those mistakes. And so you're hearing both of them, I think, both Andres saying that you got to create some safe space for them to be able to talk to you about anything and be able to make mistakes about anything, knowing that they have your love and support. Not that you necessarily condone everything that they do, but that they have your love and support. You heard Justin, 22-year-old Justin, who is a man now, though I'm going to, it'll take me a year or two to regard him fully as a man because I've known him as a young man. And I adored him as a young kid. I don't think I really ever had real issues from Justin. I can't say that about all young people that I've had under my watch at some time, but Justin has always been an upstanding kid. He was a jokester and you know, kind of clown around a little bit like boys tend to do, and when they awaken to girls, they go down that path as well. You know, teasing the girls and liking all the girls and liking this one today, and then the girls fall out, all of that, right? Handsome young kid. But you hear 22-year-old Justin saying, hey, I've got this life coming, and he is the most important thing to me. As a matter of fact, he's already given him a name. I think that's awesome. But this is the most important role I have now. And if I have one thing to be as a father, it's to support my son to be whomever he decides to be. And I thought that was, I'm proud. I'm very proud of the young man that Justin is and the man he is becoming. But I thought that that was just remarkable for him to be at 22 and saying, you know what, the most important thing I'm going to give my son is support. That's amazing to me, and I'm very proud to know Justin Green. Toya Miller has joined us. I'm still trying to get Andre Clay to rejoin us. We're having technical difficulties. From our inbox, we've got a dad who sees his son he characterizes in the very near potential to make right now the mistakes and every misstep I've made. So he's saying his son has positioned himself to do exactly what the dad had done. And he's trying to prevent that. And maybe you cannot prevent your son, your child from making the same missteps, but you can certainly inform them about some of the consequences that you've experienced from those missteps. I think that's really critical. Sometimes we will tell parts of our story to our children and not give them what they really need to hear. It's not necessarily for shock value, though shock value sometimes works, but it is so that they understand, no, I've really experienced what you're attempting to experience. I'm finding with some millennials, and this is not a broad generalization, but a lot of them come with thinking they know quite a bit, as many of us did when we were that age. And so it's come back to us that where we didn't think our dads knew what they were talking about, some millennials don't think we as dads know what we're talking about, right? And so you got to be careful that you keep a door open for your young person, your man in this situation. Keep the door open so that he always feels that he can come to you, so that there's a place where there's not judgment, right? Though you have wisdom because you've dealt with situations and circumstances, some of the very same. As you heard Andre Green, he was a 20-year-old dad, okay? And Justin is going to be a 22-year-old dad. So Andre knows where Justin has been. They're different people, but he knows those circumstances. And so sometimes you have to be open to hearing your son say, well, you don't quite know, even though you really know, and you have to share with him what you do know. Okay? See if Andre Clay is able to join us again. I'm trying again to get you in here. From our inbox, he's saying, I love my son and I've been where he's at. I've been underemployed, unemployed. I've been in hot and heavy love, he says, multiple times, he says. I've been in baby mama and baby daddy drama. He goes on to say that when he married his son's mom, he learned that his son's little brother was not his, though he thought he was. And to this day, they've never revealed to that child or any of the children that he's not theirs, which I think is could be noble, but that's a whole nother show. They're divorced now, and he's regretting how things turned out with the mom. The father says, every misstep I made, he, meaning the son, has the very near potential, he says, to make right now. So he's got the potential to make all the same missteps his dad made. And when I offer advice, he does the exact opposite. Choice of job, choice of friends, choice of girlfriend, financial choices. I'm going to come back to that. Some things he will have to learn on his own, but I don't want to lose my son to drugs, violence, or anything or anyone else. What should I do besides pray? Now, one of the things, you can be more, I would say, cunning in offering advice, because sometimes if I, just with Autumn, sometimes if I say do that, she's inclined to do that. And sometimes if I say, well, what are you going to do? Because you could do this, you could do that, you could even do this. Sometimes it's good to just make an awareness of all of the options that you know of. And 9 times out of 10, you might not know all the options. You might say, hey, I don't know. If it were me, I might choose this. Or I could see how this could be chosen. I'd choose that. And those are 3 options I know. You might want to investigate and see if there are more options. What do you think? You may be able to get that person thinking, okay, that could be an option. And that's the one you praying, not a word of English, that they choose. At the end of the day, it does become their choice. But if you lay out to them a suite of options, they might choose the right one. Sometimes just giving them advice, don't do that. Sometimes the don't do is what they do, unfortunately. And sometimes it's just good to give a suite of options to say, well, door number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hey, I've been through door number 1, haven't been through door number 5. I went through door number 4. It was not good for me. That gives them, they are empowered then, feel empowered then to make those decisions on their own. Thank you for tuning into Love and Stuff. Click share and keep the conversation going, fathers and sons everywhere.